I think that the most important distinction is between principles and applications. I think that principles are things that allow us to apply particular guidelines to a lot of different situations. So for example, like spanking is an application, timeouts that's an application. And too often, if we focus on applications, it's usually not connected to why we're doing it. Principles it helps us connect us to the why are we doing what we're doing. If we're connected to the why, usually it's because we want our children to become something more than they are. We don't want them just to do things or not do things. But if we focus on applications with specific behaviors, then that typically we find ourselves focusing more on the short term rather than long term. So principles, really, if we parent off principles, it expands our vision, and we act like we're expanding our vision to where we really are doing things and making the choices as parents that allow our kids to kind of reach our and their long-term goals. Whereas applications are normally based on short-term compliance. I mean, the bottom line is principles will allow us to make decisions. If we are principle-based, it's impossible to have all the answers by way of application. There's so many applications out there, and there's so many different circumstances our kids are going to be found in. There's so many different parenting circumstances we find ourselves in. It's impossible to have an application for everything. But if you have some guiding principles as a human being, it allows you to sit and think and say, okay, what principle would help inform me on making this parenting decision? So actually, principles make parenting a lot easier. The main thing I would promote would be principles. And I think that, different cultures or different people or different families will have different principles that they feel are most important. But trying to get human beings to be more principled rather than applications, rather than just specific little things. Helping people just change their paradigm in thinking that way would have to be the first thing. And then at that point, it's okay, well, what principles should guide you as a parent? I think probably two or three very positive principles that I get from another source that's not mine is humility, compassion, and positivity. Humility being the realization that even you as a parent don't have all the answers, realizing that you as a parent have needs, but that your children also have needs. Realizing that your needs are not more important than your child's needs. That's kind of would be humility in the context of parenting. And then to be compassionate, to try to put yourself in your child's shoes, to see what life is like through their perspective, and then make parenting decisions based on that. And then positivity, really just being more positive in our judgments of other people. And what I mean by that is we're inclined by human nature to attribute negative motivations to people's actions, when in reality, the choices they're making are probably very rational from their point of view. And so to realize, perhaps to use one of Cohn's principles, is to attribute to children or spouses the best possible motives consistent with the facts.